Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Alex Miller. Alex Miller is a seasoned digital growth strategist with a data-driven approach to developing brand growth campaigns. He currently serves as the head of global e-commerce and digital strategy at BAABUK, a sustainable footwear company based in Switzerland, where he manages the brand's international direct-to-consumer business and growth channels. Alex is a graduate of the George Washington University and resides in the Washington, D.C. area. Outside of marketing analytics, he enjoys hiking with his dogs and exploring new trails around the world. Well, good afternoon, Alex. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you making the time and like to dive into some interesting things that you're doing as far as marketing and digital strategy. So, Alex, jumping in here, you've got quite the career in marketing as an analyst, entrepreneur, and now the head of global e-commerce and growth marketing strategy for BAABUK. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've been pretty lucky to have a lot of support and encouragement in my career, but I kind of have these three nuggets of what I call my secret sauce that's really helped me. And those are learning to fail well, celebrating progress, and surrounding yourself with good people. So, as cliche as it sounds in learning to fail well, it's just letting yourself fail hard and learn from that. So, in my entrepreneurial background, it's doused with failed ideas and mistakes. But the value that I was able to extract from the wreckage of each of those has been really invaluable. And then in celebrating progress, it's quite simple. In a lot of ways, our brains are really wired to enjoy the journey more than the destination. So you got to let yourself celebrate and find joy in those small steps towards your larger goals, especially career-wise. You may not be where you want to be at the moment, but letting yourself be proud of, that class you signed up for, the blog post you finally edited, maybe making it to a second round interview, just those small steps really help you kind of enjoy where you're at and not just focus on where you're going. And then lastly, as I'm sure most people can relate to, I've worked in several offices with many teams throughout my career. And I've had both good experiences and not so good experiences. But I found that even in those, kind of bad experiences, there's a lot of opportunity for learning and growth when you surround yourself with good people. So just find good in whatever circumstance you find yourself in and embrace it.
Thank you. That's awesome. And those are, again, little nuggets that really help people get along. People do have bad days, right? But celebrating the little wins, little victories will absolutely help you get through those troubled times and really persevere until your next big opportunity. So thank you again, Alex. Alex, talk to us about how BAABUK brings innovation to centuries-old footwear, and where does your role in marketing intersect with product management?
Yeah, sure. So, wool is one of the oldest textiles used by humans. It's renewable, it's incredibly functional. So it's been used for a large part of human history. But most of us, when we think of wool, we think of those old sweaters that grandma used to knit for us, kind of scratchy and not super comfortable. So there's a lot of work to do in terms of communication. Our teams on the product side have really helped transform the ancient textile into a modern footwear, and it outperforms common synthetics that are most popular in footwear right now. It outperforms in terms of durability and comfort and, of course, sustainability, which is incredibly important to us. So in marketing, my job is to help educate our audience in the benefits of wool and dispel some of those myths. But we try to be a very human brand. And what I mean by that is we don't hide behind spokespeople. We don't do focus group tested messaging. We try to tell our story and the stories of our partners in our communities in very real ways. And the thing is that that's often at odds with the most widespread marketing tactics that are practiced out there. A lot of marketing right now currently embraces greenwashing, inauthenticity, and just kind of falsities that exist. So it's, of course, a challenge, but we try to be very human in how we do it and just share that ancient heritage of the product itself.
Thank you. And I appreciate that. I think authenticity above anything else is having that transparency, integrity, right? Being honest about what you do comes out and surpasses all that other stuff that people try to do to get people to buy their product. So thank you. And Alex, we're a technology platform publication. We like to dive in a little bit here, and not everybody's in the tech world, but we do like to ask if you're leveraging any new or emerging technologies at BAABUK, and if not, maybe you found a cool tool or app that you could share with us today.
Yeah, sure. So, along with the rest of the marketing world, we're of course exploring AI. primarily for content development, ChatGPT has absolutely become a daily resource of mine, not just in developing content, but also in helping re-platform our thinking on strategy and execution. Of course, that's, as again, with everybody, that's one of the key new resources that I'm adding in. But aside from the AI side of things, we're always looking for new channels, new strategies to explore. So just as an example, in US marketing, SMS marketing has proven to be a really great opportunity for conversational approach to our customer communication. SMS is widely used for promotional based with a lot of brands, and we certainly do utilize it for that. But where we found its real strength is using it as a platform to engage with customers for pre and post order support, helping tell those brand stories in a really communicative, conversational way. So yeah, always on the lookout for new technologies, new channels, new tools, just as a way to share that brand story.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Technology is kind of really the focal point now in anything that we do in our lives. So again, great share. And Alex, last question for you today. Can you share something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in marketing or entrepreneurship?
Yeah. So, back to my earlier comment about learning to fail well and taking risks. One of the most common questions I get is how I, living near DC, ended up working with a small Swiss company. So, I'd been in the agency space for a while, which just for me personally is not where I do my best work. And I was looking for a new opportunity to expand my skills, take on more ownership, but also battling with this idea of keeping a quote normal job. I had spent a lot of time around agency space, so I thought that's where I was intended to be. But long story short, I started a dialogue with the team at BAABUK, ended up getting on a plane to Switzerland just a few weeks later, and went there, met the team, and now 5 years later, we're still making shoes. So it was a risk on both of our sides. Absolutely could have ended up as a failure, but you never know until you try. So I'm not encouraging your listeners to get on a plane and go visit strangers they met on the internet, but I would encourage everyone to be open to doing something that may not seem like the most logical next steps. So, taking big steps, asking bold questions, being silly, whatever it is. It's amazing how often things will work out if you just try. And especially in marketing, even on a small scale, whether it's just a ad campaign you want to test out, some new creative, whatever it is, even if it doesn't necessarily seem like the logical thing or the quote best practices, let yourself try, let yourself fail and learn from it.
Thank you, Alex. That's awesome. And you're right. Kind of taking a leap of faith. I love these stories. We get to share tons of them here like yours on this platform. So thank you again. Alex, it was a pleasure having you on the show today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Bye for now.